So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Deepa, and I'm the founder of Engage to Transform. I welcome you all to this workshop, which is titled The Career Accelerator Formula: How to Accelerate Your Career, Maximize Results, and Build Super Engaged Teams in 8 weeks. I'm truly honored that all of you have created the time to join this workshop and listen to the experiences that I'm going to share as we move on. And I also congratulate you for taking an important and a very bold step towards creating a truly meaningful and fulfilling life for yourself. So a little bit about myself. I coach corporate leaders to accelerate their careers, maximize results, achieve their income goals, and create freedom by unleashing their potential and building really highly engaged teams. Let's look a little bit around ourselves and see what is the problem that we are all facing. So most of us today are living a life of mediocrity. We are stuck in an average life. We are stuck in an average career, an average performance, average goals. And can you imagine? We're scared to dream high as well. So we're just dreaming average dreams. We want to break the bond, break the limitations that are inside us, and move towards a great life to an excellent life. But unfortunately, none of us know how can we exactly do that. How do I transition from being an average individual to a great individual, from an average leader to a great leader? And that's the black box that I'm depicting on this slide. Now today, I'm going to share 3 key transformations that are going to take you on this journey from average to excellence. It will definitely make you successful. It will make you an inspiring leader. In fact, a role model to a lot of others around you. Not just telling you the transformations, I'm also going to talk about some key strategies that you can implement as soon as you are out of this workshop. These strategies might sound very simple and you might have heard them before, but if implemented in the right manner, at the right time, they can have amazing results. Before we actually move on to those transformations, I just want to highlight one point, which is most people are, average and mediocre since their thoughts, feelings, actions are mediocre. To achieve great heights, we really have to elevate our thinking and we have to align our inner game with peak performance. That's the only way that we can step forward in this journey of excellence. I welcome the others who have just joined the workshop. So I just got started and we'll keep continuing. So I'm just talking about the 3 key transformations that help us transition from being average to great. Let's move on and see what is the first big transformation. The first big transformation that is needed is to move from a state of frustration to a state of passion. I love a quote by Steve Jobs, which resonates with me really well. And it says, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. Yes, my dear friends, you heard it right. If you want to achieve excellence, you want to achieve that greatness, then the only way to become great is by loving what you do, period. Let's look at the second transformation that can help us move forward in this journey. And the second transformation is about raising your own bar. Transitioning from leading an ordinary life to an extraordinary life. Creating the mindset of being extraordinary in all aspects of your life. Thinking big, not fearing to dream big. Raising above mediocrity and exceeding your own expectations. And how do we actually move from ordinary to extraordinary? We need some skills. So it's important to master the craft that can take us from being just an ordinary individual to an extraordinary individual. And that is the second big transformation. Finally, the third transformation is moving from the fragile relationships that we have created to extremely powerful and extremely enabling and empowering relationships. Relationships that challenge us, relationships that urge us to take the big steps towards the future that we all want. We really have to choose our relationships. We have to invest. We have to trust and then carefully water these relationships because they become the foundations of our success as we move forward. Now, if you are able to move from a state of frustration to a state of passion, if you are able to move beyond ordinary to extraordinary, and you are surrounded by people that you absolutely love, and you have got extremely important relationships in your life, what's going to be the obvious outcome? The obvious expected outcome is a truly meaningful life. Transforming to become a great leader, a leader that people love, a person that people want to work with. You will inspire everybody around you. You will be energy creator in the environment that you are in. And the side effects are amazing because you will achieve your goals that you have set for yourself. You can actually achieve the income goals that you want. You can actually go and enjoy the vacations that you have actually dreamt of. All of these things are possible. If I tell you that you can create the destiny of your choice, can you trust me? But it is definitely possible. Now, all of you have created the time to join today's webinar and be with me as I work through this workshop. So I have a very special gift for you. I'm going to give you all that I can in the next 60 minutes. Further, if you need any further help, I'll also show you how we can work after this 1 hour. If you stay with me till the end of this workshop, I have another special gift for you, which is close to $1,000 outside, but I am giving it absolutely free to the participants who have taken the time to join today's workshop. And I'll unfold it a little later. If some of you want the slides from today's workshop, or if you want a replay of what we're going to talk about, you can ping me towards the end and I'll make sure that I'm sending it to you right after we move out of this workshop. Now, both of us want great experience from here. I have to deliver really amazing experience. So let's set some ground rules that we'll follow. The first one being, I love delivering, experiential and interactive workshops. Now, because we have the constraint of not seeing each other, I'm going to put up some simple polls as we move forward. Really simple answers, just to get a perspective of what's happening in your mind and what is the feedback that you would like to give me as we progress. So I urge you and request you to respond to those polls. And that's the only favor I ask from you, because that motivates me and that inspires me to keep going and keep giving my best. To take back an awesome experience, get rid of any distractions that you have around you. Grab a paper and a pen because you might want to take notes that you want to refer to later. And we will use chat box as our medium of communication. So feel free to write your thoughts. Feel free to pen down your feedback. If you have an aha moment, just use the chat box and you can use it anytime during the next 60 minutes. Last but not the least, I request you all to have an open mind, because only if you have an open mind can you learn new things. You have to unlearn a lot of your previous experiences, a lot of your previous perceptions to learn and absorb the new things that I'm going to share you. So do not reject anything. If it looks too simple, go back, experiment, and then only discard if it doesn't work for you. Or if we want changes in our life, and if we want to make sure that things around us are different, we have to do different things. So stay with me and we'll share some amazing strategies as we move forward. Thank you, Suresh, Ratna, Ramjay, for accepting and responding to polls as we move forward. Hi, Suresh. We'll move forward. So let's look at some amazing, analysis that was done by Gallup. Now, these figures are very alarming. So these are the results that are coming from a survey that Gallup has done, which shows that about 85% of today's global corporate professionals are unhappy, frustrated, and they really hate the jobs that they are in. And it's a meager 15% that's motivated and giving their best to their jobs. Now, this is very alarming because it has, in fact, to two categories of people. One is the organization, because if people are not productive, it's going to harm the bottom line. And the second set of people that it impacts is actually the people who are part of this 85%. Now imagine if you are spending 50 to 60% of your times at a place that you don't like, at a place where you just hate what you're doing. You are unhappy and you're frustrated. What is going to be the state of mind that you are in? What's going to be the quality of life that you are going to lead if 60 to 70% of your day is spent like that? Now, my perspective of this whole situation is, if the people are not ready to give their 100%, then in spite of what is happening around them, and in spite of all the things that organization does, nothing is going to change. And that is exactly what we're going to discuss as we move forward. So the first transformation that we spoke about was about moving from frustration to passion, right? Now, job for us is like the salt in our food. If you're spending 60 to 70% at work and we don't love what we do, imagine having food without salt. It's like that to our life. So we have to figure out a way to find meaning in our work, to truly enjoy our life and our work. Let's look at the problems that arise if we are not loving what we do. So if we look around us, we'll see that the things are not going well. People are disillusioned, they are directionless, they are desperate. Most of us are disillusioned with our jobs, with our lives. We're working for close to 12, 14, 16 hours at work, but we're still not happy. We're still not satisfied. We are unsure of our future. In fact, if there's a layoff happening at your organization tomorrow, just ask yourself this question. Are you 100% sure that you will not be one of them? Most of us are directionless at work because we have some hazy goals that have been set for us. We have no clarity on our goals. We have no clarity on our visions, no purpose in life. And we are reacting to every situation as it unfolds before us. We are desperate for a better life. We are desperate for a better job. We are desperate for a better team. Some of us are desperate to have a better boss because the entire life, all bosses that we have got have made our life hell. Just think of Sundays, Sunday evenings. What a nightmare. Imagining going to office the next day where we are going to face the same set of challenges again is such a difficult task. Fridays, we switch off from our office. We either sit in front of social media or we are watching TV or doing other meaningless things so that we can just not think about our job. As leaders, if we are in that state of mind of frustration, desperation, just imagine the teams who are looking up to you. What is going to be their performance level? How are they going to react to a leader like you? Now let's switch and let's imagine that we absolutely love our job. We are in our dream job and we are excited, committed, and passionate. You are passionate about your job and you just love every minute of it because you are challenged, you are exploring yourself, and you are progressing every single day. You are excited to work because you have clarity on your goals. Your interests and organization's interests are aligned. You have a very clear roadmap of where you want to be, and you're working towards that. You are committed because you are accepted, you are acknowledged, you are encouraged. And so you love being at your workplace. You know what your strengths are. You know the areas that you have to improve upon. And you are upping your game every single day. Isn't that an amazing workplace to be in? Now, if you want to transition from a state of frustration to a state of passion and excitement and commitment, what exactly do we need to do? Let's look at 3 simple steps that can take us from frustration to passion. The first one being, we have to figure out a way to move from confusion to clarity. We have to do a little bit of self-reflection. to understand what my priorities in life are. Am I moving in the right direction? Do I even know what my priorities are? Further, you have to ensure that where you are working is absolutely aligned to your internal values. If there's a conflict of values between your life and the organization's values, my friend, you will never be able to reach your best or give your best. So you have to move from confusion to clarity. The second important thing. The second important thing is moving from a state of many to a vital few. Now, we are all surrounded by many thoughts. We are all surrounded by many goals. We are all surrounded by so many action items every day that we are stuck in these operational challenges every single day. And we forget to identify that 20% that actually have an 80% impact on our life. So if you have not done that, it is imperative that you go and identify those 20% goals that are going to contribute to 80% of your happiness, 80% of your satisfaction. We have all heard about SMART goals, but let me tell you one more thing. When we are setting up goals for ourselves, we have to set goals based on understanding of our strengths and not necessarily bravery. The third important thing, we have to move from can I to I can. The first important thing, like I also said before, is about changing your mindset, changing your internal belief system, and making sure that internally and externally you are aligned to a single goal, because then you will achieve that goal. Having the right skills, having the right system and strategy is brilliant, but that is not enough, because the best strategies fail if we have inner resistance and we don't have the self-belief to reach where we want to. And these three things combined, I call them self-mastery. And if I have to sum it up in one sentence, then greatness is not a function of circumstance. It is largely a matter of conscious choice. So look at the choices that you're taking every single second, because that's deciding whether you are behaving mediocre or you're behaving excellence. Now, at this point, let me share a little bit about myself and tell you all a story, which is very closely related to what we're discussing right now. So I have an experience of about 2 decades in the IT industry. I work for organizations like HCL Technologies, Capgemini, DCM Technologies. I've played various roles. In my last role, I was senior delivery executive managing large global teams and global clients. Now, while I was at Capgemini, during my stint there, at one point, I started feeling a little restless. I was a little unsure of where I was going. Although outside everything was fine, I was really appreciated for my work. I had the most, engaged team, because they were just with me in everything that I undertook. And all of the external things were beautiful. But inside, I was a little worried. I was a little unsure. I did a little bit of introspection, but that did not result in any concrete understanding of what the problem was. And then I spoke to my coach. I have always been privileged to have the right mentors and coach who have always guided me and taken me in supported me to move into the right direction. So I spoke to my coach and he asked some very powerful questions, which actually really gave me the insight of what was happening in my mind. And that gave me the power to take the right decision. It helped me to understand how I need to be and what's my future. And as a result of that, I'm actually standing here, sharing my knowledge with all of you, and actually enabling leaders like me to move forward in their lives. Now, why am I sharing it with you? I'm sharing it because this frustration, this low motivation, this low self-esteem, it happens in life. It's normal. But the important thing is to seek advice if needed. Get to the root cause of the problem and then take some action. If you're not taking action, then it's going to become a real pain and it's going to impact all aspects of your life. So let's move on to the next transformation. We discussed about moving from frustration to passion. And now let's talk about ordinary to extraordinary. This is moving above and beyond the ordinary way of living. It's about unleashing your potential to realize the immense potential that all of us have inside. Let's first look at what are the problems that we're facing these days. So the problems commonly noticed around us are that we're stuck in an average, mediocre, ordinary life. We believe we can do more meaningful work, but unfortunately, that's not what we're doing. We want to explore ourselves, but again, our job doesn't allow us to do that exploration. We have the potential, but we are not able to use that potential. There's change all around us. The technology is changing, the expectations are changing, the teams are becoming more diverse. There is a multi-generation team that is coming onto the workplace. So just understanding each other and getting work done from teams is becoming so complicated. So there's insanity all around. And as leaders, we are trying to bring in some sanity. We are desperate to bring order to the chaotic world around us. And so we are completely overwhelmed. At the end of the year, the boss comes and says, well, I know you worked hard, but unfortunately, it was not enough to give you a promotion. And there you are. All your hard work goes into vain because the next year starts at exactly the same level. Now let's look at a dream life. If you're able to transition all these problems and solve all these problems, what can your life be? And that's what I call master your craft. And it results in absolute leadership effectiveness. When you have mastered the skills, you have clear goals, you have set expectations with your boss, with your leaders before the year starts. You are focusing on absolute priorities. And hence, you also have the power to say no to all the extra things that are coming into your life. You are giving your best. You are taking risks. You're pushing yourself to do more things. You are creative. You are innovative. You are solution oriented. People come to you when they are in problems because they know that you are cool, calm minded, and you are able to think in that mode of stability to give the right response. In fact, you are creating time to pursue your passion and your hobbies. You're so confident of yourself that you're not hesitant to ask for help. That's the life that you can live if we are able to, let go of the problems or just resolve the problems that we all face. Now, how can we exactly do that? How can we move from ordinary to extraordinary? And I call it skills mastery. So the first thing that we have to do is move from being mediocre to being excellent. And this is about creating that attitude of excellence. If you have to hire people, hire the best people. Don't compromise on that. If you have to take decisions, take those decisions which are the best for you and your teams. Do things which are absolutely right. Most of us want to be loved by our teams and we want our teams to like us. So, as leaders, we take them out for lunches, we take them out for dinners, and we want to be one of them because it's so safe to be, with the team. But you know what the challenge is? That is actually setting yourself up for failure. Because if the team doesn't like you for your attitude, for your integrity, for the way you deal with them, then you are setting yourself up for failure. So choose the best. Create an attitude of excellence. The second important thing is to move from being a victim to a victor. As a leader, if we are blaming people around us for the circumstances in our project, it could be we are blaming our clients, we are blaming the organization, we are blaming the team, then we are working in a victim mode. We have to race from being a victim to a victor and actually taking charge every day of what's happening around us. That's extraordinary. The third important thing, we all have created to-do lists forever, but have you ever created a not to-do list? If not, go back and create it now. Because it is very important to know what is it that you have to stop doing, along with knowing what is it that you have to start doing. So if I have to sum it up in one line, then it's just stop being ordinary. And let me give you 2 examples of what ordinary means. So question yourself, Are you going and doing those coffee discussions with your teams, cribbing about your upper management, cribbing about your boss, cribbing about the client? If you're doing those things, then unfortunately, you are in that ordinary state. As a leader, we get more responsibilities, but we also lose the right to do a lot of these things. We are not entitled to blame people and circumstances. So we have to move away from being ordinary to being extraordinary. The third important thing is about creating those extraordinary relationships. Now let's see what is the problem that we are having in our relationships today. So if we are frustrated and overwhelmed all the time, it's very visible. The impact is at work, the impact is at home as well. We have an upset family, we have an upset team. There is boredom all over the place. There is low energy, there's demotivation. You are struggling for your teams to perform for you. There's high attrition in the team. There are communication challenges. You don't understand your teams, teams don't understand you. You think your boss doesn't understand you, and you don't understand your boss. So we are stuck in this misery of broken relationships, and we have no idea what to do. Let's now move forward and see what happens if we are able to create those extraordinary relationships. Relationships where there is trust. Relationships where you have the best team and together you are solving all challenges that come to you. It is not that challenges will stop coming, but are you equipped to handle those challenges? Are the teams ready to step up and work for you? You are able to go on vacations without checking your phone during your vacations. Can you imagine that? Because there is somebody there at workplace who has nominated himself or herself to backfill you when you're not there. So you are living the dream vacation that you have always thought of. You have a healthy, inclusive environment. Discussions, arguments happen, but they happen for a common cause, which is very professional and for taking your project to the next level. Now, that's the kind of relationships that we would want to build. And obviously, if we are able to do all of this, my relationships at home also are perfect because I'm happy, I'm contented, and I'm able to give my best to my family as well. Let's spend 2 minutes to see how do we actually move from broken relationships to creating these empowering relationships. And I call that relationship mastery. It's about moving from authority to influence. You again have to question yourself. Are people working for you because you are in a position of power, or are you really influencing people to work for you? There's a very interesting analogy that Jim Collins has mentioned in his book, Good to Great, which is the mirror versus window analogy. So when everything is going well, suppose there's a big project that has gone live, then you really have to look out of the window and appreciate the team for taking the effort to do it. But in case something wrong has happened, you have just delivered a build which is not working, or you have delivered a report which is incorrect, then you have to look at the mirror and you have to see yourself and say, I take the responsibility of what has happened. That, my dear friends, is real authentic leadership. Another important thing, we have all been brought up to, in a world where our parents have told us that it is competition everywhere. It is a rat race. If you don't compete with others, you will never move beyond. So just go ahead and compete. But you know what? Competition is not good for our health. And each one of us has our own journey of life. Transition from competition to collaboration and see the impact that it can have on your career, at home, in your society. Because these days, collaboration is the key word. Competition only takes you downwards. It can never ever take you where you want to be. And the third important thing is to move from intelligent quotient to emotional quotient. As a leader, are you in control of your emotions? Do you just flare up when something, good doesn't happen? Or you're able to restrict yourself, think very clearly, get stable, and then share it with the team? So how do you react to situations with yourself? And then how do you react to teams? Are you able to create the empathy that is needed? Are you able to give good feedbacks to your team? So are you, we have to move from thinking IQ to EQ. That's absolutely important in today's world. So if again I have to sum it up, then no matter what we achieve, if we don't spend time with people we love and respect, we cannot have a great life. So if you look at the autobiographies of great leaders who have grown and invested in big companies, you will see that they love their work and they love the teams that they created and they spend time with. That's the key to relationship mastery. Let's talk about a very famous coach, John Wooden, who was a basketball coach, and he actually led the UCLA Bruins team. And he's an inspiration. So I thought I'll just share 2 minutes on his, story. So he led UCLA Bruins basketball team, and he actually delivered amazing performance for them. They won 88 consecutive victories under him, and they won 10 national championships. But before the first championship, it took him 15 years to build the foundation. Once that foundation was there, then he was able to take the team and they won almost every year. Now, what he has done is in those 15 years, he created a pyramid which is called the pyramid of success. And that was the foundation because his teams were changing every year, but he could just repeat his performance because he absolutely was in control of himself. He was in control of the skills. He was in fact a great basketball player himself, and he was absolutely in control of his team. In one of the media calls, he was asked that, Coach Wooden, we have seen you behave differently with different players. You are very harsh with some people. However, you are very mild and very soft with some people. Why create this difference? To which he replied, and he said, I have 12 players in my team and I have 12 different standards. I exactly know what each person needs for him to achieve excellence. Hence, there are no double standards. There are only 12 standards that I believe in. That's Coach Wooden. He coined his own definition of success, which is so inspiring. So let me read it for you. Success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you did your best to become the best you are capable of becoming. So we have to just let go of competition. It is only what am I capable of doing and am I putting the best in becoming the best that I can. That's Coach Wooden. So at this point, I want to reiterate that you should look at your own life and see what is the kind of life that you're leading. If you're stuck in a life with no vision, no purpose, low confidence, low self-esteem, pessimism, health issues, depression, and you're somehow surviving every day, then you're not at the right place. You actually have to be able to live, enjoy, and thrive every day. So most of us want to move from that frustration state to a life where we are charged, we are re-engaged, we are able to meet the income goals that we have set for ourselves. We are able to go on those dream vacations that we have always thought of. We are eager to learn. We are eager to invest in ourselves because growth is the only way to move forward in life. Now, you might all be thinking, this sounds very good. Yes, that's exactly the life that I want to lead. But is there a way to do it? How do I do it? So if there's one way that you can do it, it is about getting out of your own way to success. Yes, my dear friends, we are our own showstoppers in life. The beliefs, the limitations, the mindsets that we create for ourselves stop us from living the life that we all deserve to live. So we have to work on our mindset to move forward. After we have done that, there's a 6-step system that I have created, which is called the Career Accelerator Formula. In these 6 steps, we actually talk about the 3 important transformations that I spoke about, which is about self-mastery, skill mastery, and relationship mastery. Now, you might all be thinking that I have attended so many different leadership programs. I have attended so many leadership trainings. What's different in this? Because from those trainings, the impact is very high when you are sitting in the classrooms. But when you move out, the impact is not lost. You're back to those same challenges and you're back to that same state of living. So the difference is this program is not information, it's actually transformation. It forces you to do things that you have not done before. It forces you to explore your potential, and that's why it is different. The second big thing is I personally give world-class support to the people who enroll for my program. So I'm there with you every step as you go back to your workplace and implement the things that we learn as part of the program. And the third important differentiator, like I already discussed, is you will realize your own potential. You will break those limiting beliefs and the fixed mindset that we have created and unleash what you can become once you are through this program. So those are the three differentiators, and you will implement them as we move forward. It is not going to be theory, it's purely implementation. Let me now ask you all a question. If you were able to love your job, you were able to get passionate about what you were doing, if you can transform from being an ordinary to an extraordinary person and create the powerful relationships that help you succeed, what would that be worth to you? What would it be worth to bring this kind of a transformation in your life, of meeting your goals, creating freedom, unleashing your potential, reaching the income goals that you have set for yourself, and becoming that self-aware, progressive, growth-oriented individual? What's that worth to you? Just put it down on a paper next to you. What does it mean if you can actually live this life? At this point, I also want to challenge you and ask you. So if you really want to move from a frustrated to a passionate state, do you want to follow the old way, which is purely experimentative? So you take certain steps, you move forward, you face roadblocks, you face showstoppers, and you again come back. You are depressed, you are again frustrated because things are not working. So that's the long way, that's the slow way, and it's the old way. You also now have a new way, the new way of knowing exactly what needs to be done. New way of using a system which actually guides you, takes you forward from where you are to that amazing journey of transformation. So you have to decide whether you want to take the old way, which is frustrating, or the new way, which is quick, easy, proven, and it works for you. Now you are here today probably because like you had also responded in the poll. So most of us are not able to move forward in our careers. Our careers have become stagnant. You are unclear of your goals probably, or it's becoming difficult to get the work done from people around you. Or simply you are not able to give the best at work. Or it can be some other reason because of which you have, participated in today's workshop. Now, if that is the case, I have shown you a small glimpse of a life that you can lead. I have shown you a system that can actually take you from where you are to that amazing dream life. So you have a choice. You can turn away from that vision, turn away from the goals you have set for yourself, and actually turn away from the reason you have set those goals. And you can continue to stay confused, you can continue to stay stuck, you can continue to stay unfocused, and just say it's not possible. It probably works for some other people, but I don't think it is going to work for me. So you can either think that way, or you can decide to take action. You can decide to take a bold step towards change, where you think, no matter what, I am going to live the life of my dreams. I am going to work towards the transformation. I am ready to put in the hard work that is needed. Because if not now, then when are you going to do it? So I leave that choice to you. Now remember, I told you that I have a very special gift for the people who stay with me on this call. So for the participants who are still with me, I have a very special invitation for you. I invite you to have a free, no obligatory 60-minute call with me. And I'm going to open that offer in your chat box now. This is going to be an absolutely free, no commitment, no obligatory call, where we're going to talk about you. And we're going to focus on three important things. We're going to talk about your vision and direction for the next 3 to 6 months. Where we'll focus about what have you done till now, what are the goals and dreams that you have set for yourself, and how do we actually move forward. So this is going to be a one-on-one 60-minute call where we'll talk about your vision, your direction. The next that we will talk about are the biggest roadblocks that are stopping you from achieving your goal. Obviously, you have set a goal for yourself, but you're not able to move forward because of something which is hindering your growth. So we're going to talk about those roadblocks that are stopping you from achieving your goal. And the third important thing, we'll create a concrete action plan of how you can actually start moving towards your goal. It's a free coaching session that I will have with the person who actually registers for this. And you see it on your chat box. There's a register for the session button. You just have to click on that button. It will take you to my appointment page. There are a few slots which are available. So you have to pick the slot that works for you. And I will call you on that slot. So all you have to do is click on that button and book a call with me. Now, I also want to share one more thing, that this call is not for everybody. I'm very picky about the people that I work with, because what I'm going to share is not a magic wand. There is hard work involved. So I want to work with people who are committed to take their life to a next level. If you're ready to put in the hard work and put in the time that is needed to move from where you are to your dream life, then please go ahead and book the call. You need to be highly committed, highly focused, and have that attitude of excellence to be able to work with me. But if you think you know it all, if you think there is nothing can be done, if you think the world is only conspiring against you and nothing can change in your life, then my dear friends, you are not the right person to book a call with me. So I am only interested to work with people who are ready to give their best, who are ready to work with me to take their life to that amazing next level. So if you think you deserve a better life, if you think you can work to create that better life for you, then I request you to click on this button and have that 60-minute call with me. After that 60-minute call, we will also talk about if you want to work with me from a long-term perspective, but that's no commitment. It's absolutely not obligatory. So if you want to book that 60-minute call for me, 60-minute call with me, then I request you to just click on this button and it's, you'll see my calendar, pick a slot that works for you. After you book the call, there'll be a questionnaire that will come up in front of you. That questionnaire only asks for some information which I will use to prepare the agenda for that 1-hour call. So, there's some information that I request from all of you, which helps me to create the agenda and ensure that we are talking about the best things and the most important things which are for you in that call. So, I have the offer still open. It is there for the next 25-26 minutes. You can go ahead, click on the button, choose the slot that works for you. Meanwhile, let's move forward and see if there are any questions that are coming from the team. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and type your questions in the chat box, and I'll answer those questions. Remember, the box is still open, so you can click on the register button to book a call with me. Otherwise, I'm really thankful for all of you for creating 60 minutes of your day, to come and join the workshop. And I wish all of you a wonderful weekend ahead. Have a great life,